Jason Arday's story was an extraordinary one. From apparently being diagnosed with autism and unable to speak until he was 11, to becoming Cambridge University's youngest black professor. But allegations of plagiarism and questions about his public biography triggered a bitter debate about academic standards and diversity.
I just feel like it's a waste of a life that was cut short needlessly.
Before his death, friends, including Mike Freeman, were deeply concerned.
He was at rock bottom. He couldn't see any way out of this. He said things to me like it's pointless when we, as a group of friends, tried to encourage him to speak to journalists.
They'd been friends since primary school and remained close for 35 years. The pair still played local football together. And when stories came out questioning Arday's struggle with speech at school, he was happy to say what he saw. And horrified, some journalists gave greater prominence to students who weren't in their class.
They wanted, I think, a headline, and it wasn't fair, in my opinion. He was a humble man. Coverage about him being a fantasist and a liar that does not ring true with the human that I know and loved.
While many have now pointed to public shaming, online pile-ons and the human cost of culture war politics, others have argued that the case raises important questions about academic standards, honesty and institutional accountability. Of those institutions, Cambridge University faces some of the most difficult questions. While it appointed Jason Arday as a Fellow of Jesus College and the university's youngest ever black professor of sociology, did it apply sufficient scrutiny before elevating him to one of the most prominent academic positions in the country? Many former students say concerns about his supervision were raised but not acted upon. While critics argue the university failed those students, others now ask whether it also failed in its duty of care to a man whose vulnerabilities were well known. Cambridge has yet to address those questions. And in a letter to staff and students, Vice-Chancellor Deborah Prentice said her priority is supporting their community through this tragedy. And then there's also scrutiny of the media itself. Did they excessively pursue a story that increasingly became clickbait?
Two things can be true at the same time. I think that it is really important that we hold our higher education institutions to the highest standard. At the same time, the level of public scrutiny that Jason Arday was subjected to was unprecedented. And there is absolutely no doubt in most people's minds that that level of scrutiny was a result of his race.
Even the Prime Minister says it's a moment to take stock.
It's not a moment for any rushing to judgment. It's a moment for reflection, I would say, reflecting on how things came to this.
The campaign of misinformation was too much for Jason, his family said. His death now raises questions not just for those who scrutinised him, but for the institutions that elevated him. Katie Spencer, Sky News.
Well, listen, if you've been affected by that story, it is always worth reminding you can contact the Samaritans. Their number is 116 123, or you can go to samaritans.org.